Hi, my name's Ed Hipkins. I'm a sound designer and composer from Bristol, working quite a lot with Aardman Animations, and this certainly was a an event that we used for a game a little while ago now for Aardman, working also with the BBC. Um, in the game, we wanted a sucker sound. So we wanted it to a sound to start when you press a trigger, loop as long as you were pressing the trigger for, and then release when you let go of the trigger. So that is a super useful model for sounds, for lots of different sounds, lots of different UX sounds, where the user starts the sound plays as long as the user wants it to play, and then it finishes when the user says stop. You can use the same model for that for all those different things. So let's have a quick listen to how it works, and then we'll go over how it's made. It's super simple, but you need to know a couple of things. Okay, so that's it. So it's essentially made of three different elements. Okay, you've got a beginning sound, which triggers with the trigger. Okay, you have got a loop. So the loop is the most important part of this. Without a perfect loop, it's not going to work. Now, those perfect loops are super useful throughout different things of different parts of gaming, because you use a lot of loops in computer games because you don't know how long things are going to last for, and you want to not have sound sort of stop if a user happens to take longer than you think that they're going to take in a certain situation. So making a perfect loop, I won't do that here. I would do that in my DAW, but just to let you know that what you need is obviously the beginning and the end both being on 0. Otherwise, you have a click. They both need you need the gestural content of your loop to loop up. So if there's something, it doesn't matter if this is on a 0 and this is on a 0. If it's getting louder all the way through and then it goes quiet again, you're going to hear that loop. The idea is not to hear the loop happen. But I will go over that because I wouldn't do that in FMOD. I do that in my DAW. I do that in Logic. So I've got another video on my channel just explaining how that works. And then the only other thing really is that the end. So there's a very simple bit of logic which needs to happen. So when the logic is anywhere, let's have a look at this. Here's the two ends. So you'd need to add a transition region to the end, and then within that, let's have a look. Let's just delete that. I'm going to clear that. So within that, let's have a look what happens now. Let's go to the beginning. This is just taking you to the end because you haven't defined the parameters with which you have to go to the end. So what you do is you add a condition. So the condition is that anywhere between 0.51 and 1, 0.52, let's go to 0.51, we're going to go to the end. So if it's on 0, doesn't go to the end. If it's anywhere up to 0.51, so 0.5, it's not going to move. So as soon as we go over 0.5, it's going to end. So this change in parameter will then be linked to releasing the trigger. So the event happens. The programmer then releases, or when the trigger is released, the event number changes. And then that takes you to the end. If you did it without the end, this would just stop and it would sound not as good. You could put an ADSR filter onto the whole thing, and so when it stops, it fades out a little bit. But I prefer having a gestural finish to it. It sounds a bit more visceral. So let's hear it one more time. And that'll go as long as you like. It'll go to infinity and beyond. So yeah, that's it really. That's pretty much how it works. If you don't know how to make an infinite loop, there are other tutorials about doing that, but I will also put one up because it relates to this. Go and look that up if you don't know how to do that. And then that's how I have done this in FMOD. There's probably a bunch of different ways. If you've got a different way of doing it, stick it in the comments below. I'm always happy to learn. If you've got any questions about that, stick it in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel. I'll have a few other FMOD and sound design bits and pieces up. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care and goodbye.